Beautiful rainy day, good for the flowers, I suppose. We have a
And
lot
for
on our
farmers.
agenda, along with a few proclamations. This afternoon, we'll be going into open session for our third budget work session. Before we get started, as always, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Okay. In recognizing that we do have a busy schedule with three very important proclamations that we do want to share to the community, let's start off with Priority Carol and move right into the proclamations. So Commissioner Frazier.
Proclamations first, is that what we're doing?
No, Priority
Okay,
Carol.
priority, okay. Well, we all went to the Police and Corrections Entry-Level Training Academy graduation for the Sheriff's Office. I'll be quick. It's an impressive ceremony. I'm glad we have all those officers coming through, especially the correctional officers that are working at the detention center. We really need them, and a number of them to go through for us, so that was very good. I'm moving along here. I also went to the recent Community Volunteer Fire Company Fire 74th Annual Awards Dinner. Again, very nice, and they dedicated a tanker truck, I think it is, to Bobby Jones, the firefighter who passed away. They said that every time he drove that, he had a big smile on his face. So they dedicated that. There's a plaque on it. So it was, again, very nice ceremony. I'm moving here. Also, the Girl Scout Troop 2342 went to Bennett Surf Park. There should be a picture or two coming up there about that. And cleaned up the park and for, I think, called Helping Hands. I know where my pictures are. Okay, Helping Hands there at Keep Our Parks Green. They I think they collected 5 large trash bags full of trash here that day. If you look through here, you see the troop. Keep moving. I'm looking for, I don't see it. Oh, no, I don't. Keep going. If that's it. I don't see it. Okay, anyway. And they were there for that, and we appreciate that. And they like I said, they got 5 bags of trash. A lot of that, some of that gets blown in and so forth, but some of it's just from people being careless. They're out there, they're doing whatever they do, and they just drop something instead of taking it with them. And that's the part I don't like. I realize it happens, but it should not happen. I also went to a Battle of the Books at Gerstel Academy. It was for private schools and homeschooled children, elementary level. Again, the Battle of Books is very well attended, and it always amazes me how quiet it is in there after they ask the questions. The kids are huddling together, talking, going back and forth and come up, and even when they get the right answer, they go like this. Yes. You don't yell and scream or anything. It's like you're allowed to talk. It's okay. It was very well. It's the first one I've been to this year. I've got another one I think tonight. Actually, I think I have one tonight to go to. So, and that's all I have because I'm moving fast. Thanks.
Okay. Commissioner Wance.
Oh, I forgot about that one, but you're going to mention it anyway. Hampstead Volunteer Fire Department thing.
How'd you know?
I just knew it. It was on my list, but I was just rushing through. Go ahead.
So, yeah, the Battle of the Books is great, but I don't know what those kids were doing down there. The ones that I attend, they're pretty rowdy. So I don't know what's
They were
going on
quiet.
down
They
there.
were quiet.
Anyway, the one in my district's tomorrow night at Francis Scott Key High School. So looking forward to that. We did attend the
is.
groundbreaking for the new Hampstead Fire Station. Kudos to them. I made the comment over there that, and I stick by this because I've been doing it for 47 years. Folks in the fire service, I believe, have the most common sense of most everybody. And they're doing something over here that's really great. They're going to build a building. They're going to move into that building. Then they're going to go back and build the new fire station in front of that building. Then they're going to move back to that building. And the building that they moved into initially that they're building is going to be their events facility. So congratulations to Hampstead. They're going to need financial help, as you can see here. It's about a $7-point-something million project that they're undertaking. But the great thing about it is, as you've all heard me say for many, many years, it remains in the community and it remains the hub of that community over there. And kudos to to the way in which they're going about that. So very well attended. It didn't rain, and Weaver was too long.
I
What?
could, I could say something, but I think it's the first time you spoke longer than Commissioner Wance since I've been on the
Exactly.
board.
So there it is,
I
right
almost
there.
fell off my chair there.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
know, there was some sort of an inside bet going on too, and I believe that several of us won and you didn't. Had a good work session with planning and zoning. We're going to be getting into the meat of agricultural rezoning. We did several others, and now we're going to get in. That's the last one, so we're going to be working on that, and that's some very interesting things that are going to occur there, because as most of you know, Carroll's all about agriculture, and we've got a heck of a lot of agriculturally zoned acreage in Carroll. So we'll be undertaking that shortly, but there was a presentation on that, similar to the one that we had, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And then finally, for me, I just want to thank all of those that are in tune with our budget talks this year. I don't know that I've ever seen as much feedback in the 7 years that I've been here of people reaching out to us about the budget. So I like the fact that you're paying attention, and I say that because we are one of, if not the only county, and you've heard me say this too, that does our budget in front of the cameras. And trust me when I tell you, that's incredibly difficult to do. Imagine yourself in another county where they do the budget behind closed doors, bring it out and say, okay, there it is. We are making hard decisions with some incredibly challenging debate in front of the cameras. I hope people appreciate that, because it ain't easy. We've got a lot of work to do. As Commissioner Rothstein said, we're going to go back into session this afternoon. There's not a lot of money to go around, but we're doing the best that we can so far. But again, appreciate the involvement of all those that are involved. Spring has sprung. April showers bring May flowers, but be careful out there. Public safety's on the front line, and I want to thank them every single day for all that they do, and that includes everybody, including those that take the initial calls when they come in for service. And you'll hear more about that in a minute, and I'm done.
Commissioner Weaver.
Yeah, I had to, last Friday, attended a reception for Katie Zafries, our Olympic medalist at Green Mountain Station, and had a chance to present her with the challenge coin, which pales in to her medals. But it was really nice, and what a humble person, just same person she was in high school. So it was a really nice activity. And I also was at recent Community Volunteer Fire Department, their 74th annual awards dinner and dedication of Tanker 94. Very nice ceremony, and we have a couple representatives in back. Thank you, guys. That was a great event. Also,
Mr. Weaver didn't talk as long mirror, let's just say that. Go ahead.
anyway, since I'm being hampered in time,
Am I rubbing off on him? Is that-
the sheriff's graduation, 29 graduates, I think with the deputies and correctional officers, and this is the 5th class that graduated in the Sheriff's Academy, and they are setting a tone in the state for what they're doing. So and we do have a very safe county, and we owe a lot to our police out here. And also, as they alluded to, the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Department groundbreaking, and I guess did talk a little long on that, but it
Little.
anyway. It was a great event. You know, I grew up in these two communities between Reese and Hampstead, and in Finksburg area, and this is home to me, and I understand where all these guys are coming from and what they need. The other thing is, I did attend ESAC last night, and we have some plans come together. We're going to be discussing those later in the day. So,
Fantastic. Commissioner Boucher.
Well, normally I make fun of, poke jokes at Commissioner Wance for how much he talks. Now I'm gonna have to shift it over to Weaver.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Swam, what do we have here? I did the law enforcement graduations. First, we'll start out with Union Bridge Banquet. It is banquet season for volunteer fire departments. Here's Mayor Jones with Mr. Scott Davis. Mr. Scott Davis is 93 years old, has been a member of their volunteer fire department for 75 years. He had served as I believe, a state assessments person and helped volunteer for Rec and Parks Council in Carroll County. Tremendous man. I was so honored to sit next to him and hear from him and inspire younger generations to step up to the plate and help their fire department out, because the fire departments in these rural communities are the heart and soul of their community. So bless his soul, and I was honored to be there with him. Also, real quick with the fire department, I want to mention that we honored Archie Jones. He has served 46 years for the volunteer fire department and has accumulated over 5,444 hours of calls. It is incredible. And also, for the first time in Union Bridge, they have a female fire department president, and that's Missy Green, and congratulations to her. Now here, we'll go down real quick through the list here of the graduates of the Law Enforcement Academy. We have Bryce Davis. We'll click through these real quick. Scott Heel, Austin Johnson, Zachary Schaefer, Wayne Poole Jr., Austin Topper, Jonathan Andre, Michael Cortez, Daryl Dopkins, Colby Mumford and his father. That was a big honor for him to be there with his son. Brandon Tignor, Demon Yorks, and is that all of them? Might be all of them. Well, congratulations to that graduating class. I know how important that is for the sheriff to put this together, and the dividends we're getting long-term from his investment is tremendous. So thank you to everyone out there who was involved in that program.
Okay, and as shared, budget work sessions, we're going on into our third, as Commissioner Wentz also shared. Really appreciate the community's input as we're making these decisions. It is not our budget with the five of us up here, or our government, behind closed doors in ivory towers. It is the county's budget, and the best budget we can ensure we have is with community input. So truly appreciate it, and we still have a ways to go, but continue the dialogue. I've said the comment about you can't boil the ocean, so you shouldn't try. You should focus on our community, but the larger community still, for me, is what's going on in Ukraine, knowing that there's millions displaced, and just want to ensure that we all take a moment to think about what's hard and what's not. And, they're going through some very challenging times. So taking a step back, breathing through our nose and realizing, what matters, what doesn't, as far as, the efforts we put in. So let's give strength and courage to all those that are engaged over in Ukraine. Those are my thoughts. What I'd like to do now is go through 3 proclamations. We gave Commissioner Frazier the opportunity to catch his breath, and he is going to provide a proclamation for National Library Week. Commissioner Frazier.
All right, thank you. First, I'm going to have to say, you saw this proclamation. The printing is so small on this, and it goes across our seal and all, so it's difficult to read, so just bear with me.
I think it's Commissioner Frazier's too
Proclamation.
old, so that's,
I got National Library Week, April 3rd to April 9th. Libraries are accessible and inclusive places that foster a sense of connection and build community, with over half of our population in Carroll having a library card that have been used in the last 18 months. Libraries offer opportunities for everyone to connect with new ideas and become their best selves through access to multimedia content, programs, and classes. In addition to books, including our library's first of its kind space, Exploration Commons at 50 East. Carroll County Public Library connects people to technology and provides access to broadband internet, computers, and training that are critical for assessing education and employment opportunities. Today's libraries and their services extend far beyond the 4 walls of a building, and everyone is welcome to use their resources. In times of crisis, libraries and library professionals play an invaluable role in supporting their communities, both in person and virtually. Carroll County Public Libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are diverse as the populations that they serve, and ensure quality of access for all, providing 2,431 programs and circulating 2.1 million items in year 2021. Carroll County Public Library is a leader not only in the state but also in the nation, being ranked as a four-star library. Libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. Libraries are the cornerstones of democracy in promoting the free exchange of information and ideas for all. Libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now therefore, we, the Board of Carroll County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 3rd, 2022 through April 9th to be National Library Week. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we have a team of library with us. Would somebody like to come up and say a few words, and we can go from there?
But you have to talk real softly.
So go ahead.
Okay, I'll step away from the, good morning, Commissioners. We would like to thank you for your support and your enthusiasm for our library. So the Friends of the Carroll County Public Library presents to the Board of Carroll County Commissioners as honorary members of the Friends of the Carroll County Public Library, and we thank you for your ongoing support.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Ollie,
We
come on
also
up.
have a few tokens for you all.
Cool.
Bling. I love bling.
Thank you.
You gonna get a photo,
There's
Ed?
also a
Yeah,
summer
we'll get a
reading
photo.
t-shirt in there.
All
for
right.
Nice.
you. All ready for summer
Thank you
reading.
so much.
I get the honor of having you. Hey, when we went on the first walk in Carroll, I had the shirt you guys gave me at the book reading. Thank you.
It hasn't happened unless you document it.
You guys get the center.
Did we sprinkle around?
Sure.
We'll sprinkle. All right.
Are you gonna be able to get all of us? Can you
Oh, of course.
I won't flex on
Ready? Got it.
Steve, I don't.
Get out of the way, Linda.
Thank you. I will be there.
See you, neighbor.
See you, neighbor.
Thank you.
That's right.
I guess I get to take us home.
He needs a thick book.
Okay, Commissioner Weaver, why don't you talk about Reese?
Okay, we want to present a proclamation of the Reese Volunteer Fire Department for the 74th anniversary. And I'm going to hit some of the highlights on this. Whereas in 1947, Lexi Capel, Sterling Shipley, Harry Woodward, Cleveland Knight, Russell Knauss, Chester Taylor, Joseph Taylor, Irving Bloom, and Holiday Blizzard discussed organizing the fire department to protect Reese and the surrounding areas. And this was done in a little garage behind Reese Fire Department. In 1948, the company was incorporated, the Ladies Auxiliary was founded, and the first fire officers were elected. The officers were Fletcher B. McAllister as chief and Holiday Blizzard as assistant chief. Lexi Cooper, the first lieutenant, and Harry Nickel was second lieutenant. And in 1948, they purchased an International BK-8 chassis with a BK-10 engine, an American Marsh pump, a portable pump for $20,000. And land for the present house, firehouse was purchased in April of 1954. In 1979, the company was running over 200 calls, and by 1983, services expanded to the purchase of the first ambulance. Over the decade that follows, more equipment and more advanced technologies were acquired. Whereas the local fire departments like Reese and Community Volunteer Fire Company are the heart of our community, oftentimes members are family, friends, and mentors. We thank them for offering their time and expertise to the residents of Reese and surrounding areas and beyond. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Carroll County Commissioners, do hereby recognize the outstanding efforts and past presentation and future members of the Reese Volunteer Fire Department. Thank you.
Thank you. Want you to come on up and say a few words, Kitty?
Oh, no, we said a lot on Saturday night.
Huh? Okay.
We just want to thank you for your continued support of the volunteer fire service, and to please keep that in mind that there are 14 of us as you go to do your budgeting this afternoon and think about which plan you are going to accept.
Let's get a photo.
Really?
Just keep us all in mind.
Commercial message?
That wasn't just for anyone company, that was for all of us. I'm gonna take a couple. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you. See you later.
Was that short enough, Dennis?
That was really good for you.
Okay, let's go on with the third proclamation.
You gotta read the third proclamation, get up here.
Public Safety Telecommunicator Week proclamation.
That's why I got the mat, now I got
Okay.
it.
All right. Good morning again. National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. I'll read the proc, but I got a couple things I want to say. Emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or EMS. When an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, EMS providers is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. The safety of our police officers, firefighters, and EMS providers is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who contact the Carroll County Emergency Communications Center. Public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. Public safety telecommunicators are the vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and EMS providers by monitoring their activities via radio and providing them information to ensure their safety. And public safety telecommunicators of Carroll have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And we are proclaiming April 10th next week through 16th. See, this is a better one because the other ones, the week's almost over. Y'all are just starting. April 10th through the 16th, Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And in Carroll, we honor the dedicated men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe. I often say this, it's often overlooked. We always make a whole lot of attention to those on the street in whatever color they're wearing. But a reminder to those that it starts 99.9% of the time with a call to 911. That's the boots on the ground, entry level communication that starts whatever incident it is. I am proud to say that I'm an alumni. I worked there for 12 years. I remember the likes of Tom Timmerman, Mike Clapsaddle, Clarence Souders, Jim Saylor, and the list of interesting people go on and on and on. But some really, really great years of my life that I spent there. And I do absolutely appreciate the fact that you do a tremendous job and do it in the way in which you do it. So we can't thank you enough. Congratulations to all of you. And, we can just say, keep up the good work. We are blessed here to have the leadership of Scott Campbell and Jack Brown. We've got two up and running communication centers, which a lot of counties can't say. We can go from one to the other like that, and it's impressive. So we do it better than anybody here in Carroll, and I will say that about our dispatchers as well. Had the opportunity to attend a dispatch presentation at Mako this summer, and I talked with some of the folks that work in the other centers, and we far exceed what they do there. Whatever, we just do it better. So congratulations to all of you, and thank
Scott,
you.
Jack, would you like to say anything?
Good morning, Commissioners. I think the first thing we need to say is thank you for the continued support, because everything we've achieved is only possible because of the support that this group has shown us over the years. The only thing I would like to note is this recognition actually started 41 years ago in a little sheriff's department in California. And because of the kind of sentiments that you've expressed, it quickly became nationally recognized, and now it is a very significant event, and obviously a very well-deserved one. But with that said, if I may, please, I just want to recognize we have Jack Brown and Ashley Bergen with us, who are the manager and assistant manager of the Communications Center, and Ms. Valerie Hawkins was kind enough to join us. She's the county's emergency management manager as well. So Commissioner, I think the best thing to simply say is a heartfelt thank you. We know the support is there, we can count on it, and I couldn't agree more with what Commissioner Wance said as far as the dedicated women and men that work in that center. Their heart and
Okay.
soul is into it.
Go on, we get a happy snap.
Come a long way.
Can't wait for my hug. Make sure you wipe the lipstick. You guys got some new help recently.
You belong in here.
You get up there and sit down.
It's about them, it's not we're one family. It's about them more than it is about us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
In honor of Easter, you know.
Okay, the man in the pink tie, why don't you come on up?
A nice Easter color.
5 days to sign day.
Who's counting?
I am.
Everybody.
Okay,
Who's not counting?
So, brevity is the word for the day, so I
Sounds like
shall
a
be
plan.
brief. Yes, Monday is sine die, so, redistricting, I'm sure you're all following that. Looks like the special magistrate has recommended that the current legislative maps stay as they are, thrown out the challenges. So the Court of Appeals has to make that final decision. But the congressional maps were accepted, signed by the governor, and the appeals have been dropped. So the congressional maps are set. Highway user revenue was a little bit in flux when we last spoke. It's on the Senate floor, I think, today to be for final passage. So I've given you the numbers, but they're not as good as full restoration, but they're better than what the original bill got whittled down to. I don't have the dollars that these percentages represent for Carroll, but as soon as we get that chart, I'll make sure you see that. Let's see. Another one that was in flux is last week, Commissioner Wance and I spoke about this one, but that's the emergency service transporters, the reimbursement. The thing that appeared to be holding that up was the insertion of commercial ambulance providers in there. That's been since amended out, and that bill is now moving, so I think we'll see that one
Yeah, I
go through.
got a text message late yesterday that said it was unanimous out of subcommittee,
Yeah.
so, a lot of midnight hours went into that one.
Yeah,
So, and I appreciate your help,
so there's,
Mike, when I called you the other night at
yeah, we tried to.
whatever.
through it.
Yeah, tried to weave our way through the weeds.
So, you know, with bills like that, time is the challenge now, but I think we'll see that one go through. The background check bill for Carroll County, I talked about how that had run into some trouble. Our delegation did a lot of hard work and lobbied very hard, both the chair, the vice chair. They even brought in Jason Buckle, the minority leader, to try to get them to move that bill. Well, they agreed to move it in amended form. So what they've done is allowed for volunteers that work, so the wording is, you're allowed to check those people who are currently in the law, and also employees and volunteers who are responsible for the care and supervision of minors. So you got that part of it. You didn't get the more expansive ability that the HR director was looking for, but you at least got the protection of minors in there. So we can
I
thank them
think
for
we
that.
met the intent.
Pardon?
We met the intent of that bill.
As I understand it, yes.
So,
Yes.
okay.
Let's see, so the senior tax credit did get passed, and that's gone to the governor, for signature. Another big one was the Family and Medical Leave Insurance Program, so that one was another one that was in flux. House had proposed a study. The Senate decided they really wanted to move forward with the program, so they modified it. There'll be a study conducted. The initial study is due December 1st of this year. The rate will be set, the contribution rate, we talked about the employee-employer contribution rate. That will be set by the Secretary of Labor, June of next year. The contributions actually begin in October of '23, and the ability for employees to take advantage of the program will begin on January 1st of '25. So they want to build up the fund in advance of actually making it available to employees. The cannabis bills have passed. There's both a referendum question that will be on the ballot, and also they passed the bill that will study the patterns of use. It will decriminalize small amounts of possession. It also sets up the ability to expunge records and also expunge sentences. So the real work will come after the referendum, assuming it passes. I think they obviously feel pretty certain, based on the polling, that it will pass. Then they'll set up the program of how it will be organized, dispensed, the tax structure. So that's yet to come. And lastly, the cybersecurity bills. They are moving. The House Bill 1205 is in Budget and Tax. That hasn't yet moved, but I understand that House Bill 1346 and House Bill 1202 did get passed out of the Senate committee in an amended form. So there still needs to be the reconciliation between the House and the Senate. Not sure if that's already been agreed to, as many of these things are, but hopefully they'll pass because there's some benefits in here for the local governments. That's really all I have for you.
No, I appreciate, I'll tell you, just understanding cybersecurity bills and needs and requirements, that's huge. And, I think it'd be very short-sighted if they don't move forward with these, but,
Yeah, I think they've worked it pretty hard to get
Yeah.
them right.
yeah. So, that's the one thing, amongst other things, that may keep me up at night as far as the ability to have safe and secure communications within local government, so. Okay, any thoughts, comments to provide?
What's the rumor on the street on extending the tax credit on fuel?
Haven't heard anything.
Okay.
That was
I
a
know that,
30-day extension of it?
Yeah, when is that
Yeah.
up?
April 16th.
Yeah,
And I know that the comptroller is out there pushing it hard to try to get that extended for 60 days. So heard a little blurb on BAL this morning on the way in that there's some perhaps behind-the-scenes work going on that could extend it for 60 days, but I
Well,
don't
they have 5 days to do it because
Yeah,
it's got to
they
be
gotta hurry
budgeted
up,
for,
right?
right? Yeah.
But that would be a nice little gesture, but we'll see. I don't know.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
expensive.
but they do
expensive.
have the money. They have the money to do it. They could make it up for the money in the rainy day fund, or, the rainy day fund.
Yeah, and it ties into HUR too, because there's a portion of HUR that comes from corporate income tax. So they changed a little bit of that as well to direct that to the HUR program. So it's not, the gas tax is not, gas tax, titling fees, a couple other things, but also corporate income tax contributes to it as well.
Yeah.
So they made some changes there.
Yeah, so that, we'll see what happens there, and I do appreciate their their ability to pass a little bit of tax relief for our seniors. That's important, even though it's just, I've explained that to a few seniors over the last several days because they thought they were getting $1,000 tax credit. And I'm like, okay, well, let's be clear.
Yeah.
That means about $18.62, but it's not 1,000.
Yeah, it's not a
What?
refund.
What? But it's better than nothing, I guess, so I appreciate that. But it's an election year, and I love standing back and watching people kiss babies. Because, man, are people in high gear with that. So
Well, that's why
maybe
we-
that'll make them do some things, I don't know.
That's why we have a family and medical leave program
Yeah.
passed. I mean, it's not in place until another 2 years, but
Right.
they can say, the advocates were horrified that it was gonna be delayed another year with another study.
Yeah.
And since election year was brought up, I want to go back to the legislative redistricting real quick for public awareness, that even though Judge Wilner has turned down the challenges, he is a magistrate, and that most likely all those denials will have exceptions filed on them to be heard for oral arguments directly in front of the Court of Appeals. So this is still evolving, it's not done.
Correct.
It'll be forthcoming, and there is still the potential that this primary election date could get moved again, depending on how the Court of Appeals rules.
That's absolutely true. That report is meant to inform the court only.
Yeah, it's the same one that turned mine down 10 years ago.
So you might get another district, you might not. Lose two, gain one.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Okay, let's move on to annual plan for fiscal year 2022 for the Carroll County Bureau of Housing.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Celine, good morning. And Danielle, I apologize.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. I'm joined here today with Danielle Yates, our Bureau Chief for Housing and Community Development, and also Paul Moffett, our Housing Manager, is here as well. We are here because we are hosting a public hearing for the consideration of the streamlined annual plan for fiscal year 2022 for our Carroll County Bureau of Housing. The plan has been displayed for public comment for the past 45 days based on Federal Regulation 24 CFR 903 and to be submitted for approval to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I'm going to turn it over now to Tim Burke for the purpose of establishing the guidelines for a public hearing.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a public hearing, and I would note that it was advertised in the Carroll County Times on the 21st of February and March 28th, 2022. Do the County Commissioners have any questions of staff regarding the proposed plan?
No, sir.
Nope.
Mr. President, does the staff have any comments on the proposed plan for the public?
I do. I just wanted to remind folks that we came before you on February 17th to request the 45-day review. The public hearing was advertised as in the Carroll County Times, as Mr. Burke noted. The annual plan has been displayed for 45 days, and we have received no comments. Our resident advisory board has reviewed the plan and agreed unanimously with this year's revisions and submission, noting no changes. And we are here today to receive final approval to submit this plan for 2022 to our HUD regional office. If you and if you do have any questions at this time, we would take them.
And this is for the 781 vouchers, correct?
Correct.
Yes, for the Section 8
For the
Housing
Section-
Choice Voucher Program.
For the different categories that add up totally to 781. And that's by population and a formula that's provided. There's no, well, less subjectivity to this. I mean, it's a very objective way to get to the 781.
So we have to be awarded vouchers
Right.
whenever they actually present a notice for additional vouchers, we can apply.
Right.
But we have 781, that's all we have.
Right, okay. Public comment, should we ask if there is any public comment? from,
Yeah, at this point, Mr. President, this is the public portion
Right.
of the hearing, and do we have anyone in the audience that has any comments?
I see none, but just to be fair, Chris, is there any?
No callers on.
No callers
No
on
callers.
the line. So,
Mr. President, I suggest that you close the hearing at this point.
okay, so I need.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
I got a motion, I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioners, we would also.
Hold on a second.
Yeah. Wait, what?
We
I
just
thought
got-
we were gonna approve it at the same time, but we can do that
Oh,
separately.
okay.
No, no,
That was my next
we-
motion.
Yeah, Commissioners, normally we like to have a
Okay.
10-day period where you get additional comment. This thing's been hanging out there since the 21st of February. It's been advertised, and there's no legal requirement for you to do the 10 days, so I'm going to suggest after you close the hearing that you make a motion as
Which-
proposed.
Okay,
Oh,
so we made a motion to close. I
Right.
got a second to close. Any further discussion on closing the public hearing at this time? None. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make
Now I
it-
need a motion to approve the FY '22 annual housing plan to HUD.
I'll make the motion that we approve the FY '22 annual housing plan to be submitted to HUD.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion, I got a second. Is there any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. I didn't understand both together.
Yeah, but it was better to do it that way
We
anyway.
just have to slow down. I mean, slow it down but keep pace.
I
You
thought we
said
were,
we gotta hurry up.
I don't wanna hurry up. I wanna move
I'm here for
with,
a task, not a time. I don't know if you ever heard that before.
well, some people learn. I'd be more than happy to walk away at this time. Okay. Low-income household water assistance program.
Say that acronym.
Not gonna try.
Ms. Jenny Hobbs, our acting comptroller. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm coming to you today for your approval to submit a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, allowing us to participate in the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program. This is a new federally funded grant that was established through the American Rescue Plan due to the COVID pandemic. Each local Department of Social Services offices will be administering this directly on behalf of utility users. This program is actually focusing on the immediate restoration of water or wastewater services and the payment of any outstanding bills to prevent the termination or disconnection of services. The program is currently funded through December 23rd, 2023. However, the agreement here is for a 5-year period in case they decide to extend the funding, and that's up to the federal government. So by accepting this agreement, it allows the county to accept payments on behalf of utility customers from the Department of Social Services to pay outstanding water and sewer bills and to prevent termination of services. And it also gives the county a valuable resource with the comptroller working with the Department of Citizen Services and grants office, allowing us to provide the resource to refer utility users that may have some problems or need help paying their water sewer bills, a resource to get this paid and prevent the termination. So I move that the board recommend that we submit the MOU and participate in the program.
Ms. Hobbs, have we seen a spike or an increase in this demand? How's it trending?
So we actually have tried, and I have Mike Enzer here to help me out. He's our utility supervisor. Mike, have we had much of an increase, do you think, in the number of users that haven't paid their bills?
No, from the number of termination letters and late letters we've seen.
I apologize. Why don't you come on up to the table? Thanks.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
The number of termination letters that we've sent out and the number of delinquencies we see right now are pretty much in line with what we were doing prior to the pandemic.
Okay.
Okay, good. Well, not as good as happening, but I was concerned that it was spiking up.
No, we haven't seen any spikes. The dollar volume has gotten a little bit larger, but as
What,
far
as far
as
as like backed up, how
Yes.
far, all right.
but there's more programs out there also.
Okay.
Okay.
With that, I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the submission of the MOU and participate in the program LHIWAP.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Seeing here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Can I just
Yeah.
make a comment about the way that people can apply for this program?
sure.
Just for the public
Yep, please.
to understand, so that they can use the consumer portal on the state's website, the state OHEP website, the Office of Home Energy Programs, and they can go to the portal on mymdthink.maryland.gov. You can also contact your local DSS office directly. You can apply online. There's a printable application if you prefer to print it and then complete it. They can also call the service hotline to be mailed a hard copy application at 1-800-332-6347. And folks that are eligible are people that are within 60% of the Maryland median income. And people may be categorically eligible if they or someone in their household are also receiving a benefit from the Low-Income Household Energy Assistance Program, which we call MEAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, the Temporary Cash Assistance, Temporary Disability Assistance, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, ERAP, the Emergency Rental Assistance, and Means-Tested Veterans Benefits. So make sure that people are applying. This also has a little bit higher income eligibility than some of the other programs that have been advertised in the past. So we just
Yeah.
want to make sure that we can help as many people as possible.
Celine, no, go ahead, I apologize.
And folks do have to have a bill that has at least $100 of rental arrears, or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, not rental arrears, I'm used to ERAP, water arrearage payments. And so
Right.
the other piece is the max benefit they can receive is $2,000.
Okay, so, a lot of good, great information. Is it possible to provide a hyperlink from either your site that'll direct them to DSS? Because, as you know, community members sometimes don't know where to go and sometimes don't even know DSS exists, but know that you do. So, and it's vice versa. But this, I think if you can make a link from your site saying, hey, frequently asked questions, go here type of thing.
We've got the official flyer. We were just waiting for your approval with the MOU, so we will post that on our website. And we'll
Awesome.
also send it to Chris to get it on a press release out,
Yeah.
at least on Facebook.
And
Fantastic.
Commissioners, just so you know, we will be sending out the letters of anyone that is in danger of termination. We're putting all the resources in those letters as well to contact, so they'll have that as well. And it's gonna be on the comptroller's website as well,
Right.
so
Good.
we have it
Fantastic.
all linked
Okay.
together.
Wow.
Okay. Do we vote?
Yes,
Okay. Is there
forgot
any other
myself.
discussion?
I think we
I
did.
think we did too.
Yeah, we voted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
That was it?
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay. Looking HR to come up and talk about requesting approval to issue a contract to Blue Water Advisory to complete executive search.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning. The Office of Procurement, in cooperation with the Department of Human Resources, requests your approval to issue a contract to Blue Water Advisory to complete executive search services in the amount of $72,000 or $24,000 for each position. Blue Water Advisory will assist in the search to fill the following 3 roles for Carroll County: Director of Public Works, Director of Human Resources, and Comptroller. The Office of Procurement solicited for quotes and received the responses listed below, and the amount is within the adopted budget and no additional funds will be needed. Any questions?
Okay.
So as directed by the board, or through the county administrator, when we were going through this, we went out, as Eli said, to see, to procure those services for an outside search. And these were the ones that we came up with. We have worked with Blue Water before on several other things. We're very comfortable with them. We feel they'll do a good job. So we actually are posting it on our website as well. They are taking care of it on their end. They will vet all the candidates, and then bring a slate of candidates to the board.
Be cheaper to put a freeze on the retirements.
Someone in front of us might protest that. It's good to see someone local, too.
Okay. Any discussion on this?
Nope. I'll make the motion, the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with Blue Water Advisory to complete executive search services in a total amount of $72,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No, the only question I have is if another position becomes available, does this hold the price, or is this just for the three?
I think it would hold, but I would have to make sure
Okay.
that we would have to ask him if more come available.
Because it's only April.
That's true.
Good point.
Just saying. That's
Anything can happen.
just trying to keep it real.
No, I mean, at this point, we would go back to them again.
Okay.
But I don't have any doubt that they would hold that price.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I will abstain because of direct relationship. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your work on this.
Let's talk about paving at Hoshua Bear Branch Nature Center.
The Office of Procurement, in cooperation with the Department of Recreation and Parks, requests your approval to award a contract to complete the paving of existing parking lots and roadways at the Hoshua Bear Branch Nature Center to White Pine Paving, Inc., in the amount of $303,318.10. The Office of Procurement solicited for bids and received 6 responses listed below, and the amount is within the adopted budget and no additional funds will be needed.
Morning, Commissioners. These roads that we're referring to up at Hoshua and up to Bear Branch Nature Center, these were last paved in 2000. They are showing signs of wear and tear, and the funding for this project is coming from the local Parks and Playground initiative that the state provided funding for last year, and there is sufficient funding within the budget to complete this project.
I'll move the Board of Commissioners award contract to complete the paving of existing parking lots and roadways at Hoshua Bear Branch Nature Center to White Pine Paving Incorporated in the amount of $303,318.10.
Second. But does this go from the entrance throughout the entire complex?
Actually, from John Owings Road until you get to the gate that takes you up to where outdoor school is, that is a county road, and that's maintained as a county road.
Okay.
This paving would be from that gate up to the main building where the cabins are and parking lots around there, and it would also take you up the road to Bear Branch Nature Center and include the parking lot there.
All right. Thank you.
Do the parking lots get the micro seals and all that other stuff that all the regular roads get, to keep them up, keep them moving forward?
Typically, they do not.
You think that would be a good idea if we looked into doing that to extend the life?
That's something that we could investigate. I mean, on the one hand, I think we did pretty well getting 22
is good,
years out of it.
But they are parking lots. And I'm thinking if we did the other stuff to, prevent the water from penetrating and expanding and all that stuff, it might last a bit longer. I mean, just be something to look into.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to investigate that just to see what the cost benefit would be.
Yeah.
They don't get the same traffic as a
Right.
typical county road, so you might get the same result or you might get something different. But we can follow up on that.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, I have a motion, I got a second. Any further discussion on this? Seeing here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're 1 for 1. Lighting upgrades, Deer Park, change order. How we love change orders.
The Office of Procurement, in cooperation with the Department of Recreation and Parks, requests your approval for a change order to install new conduit and wiring to 4 new light poles at Deer Park in the amount of $32,106. The work will be completed by term contractor Eastern Sales and Engineering Incorporated, and the amount is within the adopted budget and no additional funds will be needed.
We had an interesting discovery when we were in the middle of this project. Actually, not the middle, we were very close to the end. New lights, new poles have all been installed. It was discovered that the ground wire is not good and hadn't been good. So as much as I love change orders, just like you, Commissioner Rothstein, we're really lucky that this one did come about and we did find it and we're able to correct it now. So what they will do is they'll do a directional bore under the field, put in a new ground wire, ensure the safe operation of the lights moving forward. And there is sufficient funds within the capital project to do this.
What was the original contract for?
I don't have that amount off the top of my head. I apologize for that.
And it was with Eastern Sales and Engineering Company?
Yes, they're involved with that.
This could be a shocking experience.
So did the ground wire have a break in it?
There was something that they found to be faulty with it. I don't know the full extent of the damage, but when they came across that, they recognized that it was not safe to use then
Right,
and
okay.
wouldn't be safe moving forward.
Sure, okay, just curious.
Wow.
Preempting a potential liability event.
I'll move the Board of Commissioners approve the change order for new wiring at Deer Park to term contractor Eastern States and Engineering Company in the amount of $32,106.00.
Second.
I got a motion, I got a second. My only comment is, my expectation and assumption on this is that there was no negligence from Eastern Sales and Engineering Company when this was all being put together, and they recognized the fault. So I do appreciate them recognizing it, but it could have been very significant. So I'm not worried about liabilities, I'm worried about death,
Right.
that could occur from this. So, okay. Any other discussion, comments? Seeing here, none, all in favor?
Aye.
Wow. 2 for 2. Now let's go to toilets. Rental and service of portable toilets.
The Office of Procurement, in cooperation with the Department of Recreation and Parks, requests your approval to issue a term contract to Freedom Septic Service Incorporated for the rental and servicing of portable toilets at several Carroll County locations in the amount of $36,848. The Office of Procurement solicited for bids and received 5 responses listed below. The amount is within the adopted budget and no additional funds will be needed.
At the vast majority of our county parks, we do not have restrooms that have flush toilets. And there's a number of reasons for that: cost of putting them in, also the maintenance costs ongoing. So most of them are served by Spotapots. This is a contract that is used to supply Spotapots at each of those locations that do not have flush toilets.
You need to take a tour of this.
Yeah. Well, this is a call I get occasionally with the park up the road from me. Can you give a little bit of a background, what has transpired up to this point and the value and importance of this? Because you get the calls more than I do.
We do get the calls, and I think everyone, we've seen this in some of the surveys that we've done, that people's preference would be to have the flush toilets.
Right.
But regardless of whether it's a flush toilet or a Spotapot, it's only as good as its last cleaning. And it can be cleaned today, and 15 minutes later, it may not look so great, depending
Or
on
you could have a tournament come through that park and just.
with the heavy volume.
Yes.
So this allows for those units to be placed at the different parks. They are cleaned weekly. It allows for additional cleanings if we get reports that they need an additional cleaning after heavy use like a tournament or vandalism. So that does allow us to do that. We do not have staff on site at the vast majority of our parks. So there are no staff present or available to clean these units. We rely on these companies to do that.
And I can testify, having walked up Prim Gold and run into you up there, specifically for this reason, that you're on call and you have to show up for these calls. So we want to make sure you have less stress on you. I move that the Board of Commissioners award the term contract to Freedom Septic Service, Inc. for the rental and servicing of portable toilets at several Carroll County locations in the amount of $36,848.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion on this?
Do you have much vandalism with these?
People tip them over, which
they?
I don't understand the thrill with doing that, but we have that happen. We have had them burned before. I'm not
Okay.
sure that there is a worse smell on the planet than that.
Okay, just curious.
Can you anchor them or no?
Sometimes we'll put stakes next to them so it's a little bit easier. They could blow over in a heavy wind too.
Right,
Let's make sure you're not in one.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Vandalism, such a waste,
Mhm.
just such a waste. Okay, any discussion on this? Seeing here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0, okay. Gentlemen,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Singer, why don't you come up for a few actions, and let's go to Land Resource Management, Locust Wetlands Stormwater Management Facility.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Office of Procurement, in conjunction with the Bureau of Land and Resource Management, request your approval to award the contract for the Locust Wetland Stormwater Management Facility to Kibler Construction Company in the amount of $649,000. The Office of Procurement issued a request for bid and received 7 responses, with Kibler Construction Company being the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. The amount is within the adopted budget, and no additional funds will be necessary.
Morning, Commissioners. Ed Singer, Bureau of Resource Management. So the picture that's up on your on the slide shows the location and where this facility is going to be. Commissioner Boucher's been out there and seen it in person. I'm kind of highlighting it here with the mouse. It's just I guess east of the where the wastewater treatment plant is. There's currently no there's no stormwater management here. This will be a new facility that's going to collect the stormwater in the drainage area here in Union Bridge and treat it in a constructed wetland. This map here shows you the drainage area that'll be collected to be treated at this new facility, and this is a plan of what the facility will look like. It'll be planted in the interior of it will be planted with wetland plants that will provide some of the treatment for the stormwater runoff. The base of the below the dam is going to be planted in grasses, and then over the upper portion will be planted in trees. We've coordinated with Citizen Solar that they originally owned the property. The town owns the property now, and we'll be grading everything out on the site on an easement that we have onto their property, installing some new storm drains, and that's essentially what the project will entail. And we've worked with this contractor many times in the past, and we're looking forward to moving this project forward.
Well, this would be a nice addition to the area. The future kayak launching site is right across the other side of the creek from this. And it's good to also see another Carroll County local contractor. I appreciate all the work you put into this and helping the town out. With that, I move that the Board of Commissioners award a contract for Locust Wetland Stormwater Management Facility to Kibler Construction Company, Incorporated, in the amount of $649,000.
Second.
I have a motion, I got a second. Any discussion on this? Seeing here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Request approval for grant application acceptance of award, Roberts Field Restoration.
Good morning, Commissioners. We are here this morning to request your approval to submit a grant application to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation for the Roberts Field Restoration in the amount of $500,000.
Commissioners, these projects are planned as part, as you know, part of our requirements for our permit to retrofit a certain number of facilities. This facility is located in Hampstead. If you can see on the map here, I'm highlighting here the Roberts Field Stormwater Management Facility. It's just near the Roberts Field Shopping Center. This is a this concept plan. I mean, there could be changes. This is very early stage, but this is a concept plan of what the facility is going to look like. Again, another wetland type of facility that would better treat the stormwater in this area. To be located just behind the shopping center in the middle of this neighborhood. It includes, in addition to the retrofit, will include some stream restoration work. We've been working very closely with the town and the community on trying to move this project forward, and requesting your permission to seek these funds through this granting agency.
So we did submit an additional grant application for this project. We came to you back in January and went out to the Maryland Water Quality Financing Administration for a little over $1.5 million. We haven't heard the results of that grant, but we're hoping that, you know, we could take these 2 grant applications and cover a better portion of the anticipated project costs for this project.
That'd
This
be
is an
great.
80-20 split between us and Town of Hampstead, correct?
That is correct, as our MOA.
Right. I just always like to bring that up.
Thank you.
I move the Board of Commissioners approve the submittal of the grant application acceptance of the award to the National Fish and Wildlife Federation for Roberts Field's restoration project.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion on this? Seeing, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 2 for 2. Request approval for grant application acceptance of award, Century High School Stormwater Management Facility.
As Commissioner Rothstein said, we're here to request your approval for a grant application and acceptance of an award to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation for the retrofit of the Century High School Stormwater Management Facility. The Board of Education approached us a couple years back about a potential retrofit of this facility. They were having maintenance problems out here. So we analyzed it, and I'll let Ed give a little bit more detail.
So, yeah, we've already gone out and cleared the site, and we're underway with the design of this project. As you can see, Century High School sits here. Linton Springs Elementary School is just to the east, and the stormwater management facilities behind the stadium, and includes a swale that's pretty wet that's behind the stadium at Century High School. So we help the school system by clearing the facility. As I said, the contract out. We're already beginning the design work. This is a picture of what the site looks like behind the stadium. There's a swale here that we're gonna improve to that conveys water down towards the facility. And the pond it's actually a picture of the pond. It's wet below the pond, but the pond is in the upper part of the picture. That's the existing stormwater management facility that we intend to retrofit. So, and this is just, this is a map that shows the drainage area. The yellow outline is the area where the rainfall essentially drains to this facility that we're going to improve the water quality and treat to be discharged into the receiving waters. So, if you all have any questions.
It's a mess back there, so. I mean, that's the bottom line. Will the Board of County Commissioners approve the submittal of grant application and acceptance of award to National Fish and Wildlife Foundation for the Century High School Stormwater Management Facility?
Second.
I got a motion and I got a second. Any discussion on this? Seeing here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Commissioners.
Thank you for all the work you guys put into this.
Okay, let's talk about the 2022 Citizen Scrap Tire Drop-Off Day event.
Sounds exciting.
It's never a dull moment at solid waste.
It's better than having people dump these off on our back roads.
Exactly.
That's what's important about this.
Oh, we're here this morning because the state of Maryland has offered the Carroll County residents an opportunity to have a day to dispose of their scrap tires. They're going to provide reimbursement of $16,500 to pay for the disposal and transportation of the tires with a $1,000 advertising budget. And the residents can deliver a maximum of 10 scrap tires per vehicle with 1 trip per address, and this will help provide the residents a way to dispose of accumulated tires free of charge. So we're asking you to let us participate in this program.
Now, a few years ago, Farm Bureau did this and got like 600 tons of tires or something unbelievable. And they had a mountain of tires the size of this building. And you anticipate the same type thing here?
No.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, what the track record on this has been.
Okay.
What
What's the
We
color?
have participated with the Farm Bureau. We actually handle through the Farm Bureau these collections. And the last 4 opportunities we had for tire collections, they've all been able to bring ag tires. This is the one that's just for residents this time. So the tire should be like 33 inches. It shouldn't be the
Not
large
the
tires.
giant
But yes,
tractor.
we collected about 46,000 tires, about almost 1,400 tons
Yeah.
over the last 4 collections.
Okay.
And most of them were ag
I
tires.
just wonder if this is enough, you think will cover the disposal of these tires? And
Yeah, it should. That's
No,
what I
there
was
is a
just-
possibility it
It's a
could
great-
go over, but,
Yeah.
and we will be talking with MDE and MES. There may be funds if we go over, there may not be, and if somehow we do go over, which is kind of a good thing, then that'll just come out of our operating budget.
It's a great program.
Yeah.
Really
We,
applaud you
we
for
could
getting
probably
into
take up to
this.
about 5,000 tires through this program, so. I like to take as many as we can, but use all the money that they give us. That's what we like to do.
I move the Board of Commissioners approve the Department of Public Works to participate in the FY 2022 Citizen Scrap Tire Drop-Off event and accept up to the maximum reimbursement from the Maryland Department of Environment.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, got a second. Any discussion on this one? Seeing here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Cliff, you're 1 for 1.
1 for 1.
FY
See ya.
23 solid waste disposal fee adjustment.
And Maria Bales, and Eric comes up, which is fine. Commissioners, good morning, and appreciate you having us in today. Solid Waste Enterprise Fund must effectively implement and efficiently implement an integrated system of solid waste and recyclables management serving the residents and the businesses of the county. And we continually evaluate our operating revenues, costs, market conditions, especially those which impact the services we provide. As you know, tipping fees represent the primary revenue source for solid waste and recycling operations. Some of those tip fees are directly tied to third-party service contracts, such as the scrap tire tip fee, which we will be discussing. Others are set to be comparable to local market conditions, such as the yard waste facility, or yard waste rate we will also be discussing, particularly from commercial haulers. Please note, residents who come in with their own yard waste still and will continue to be able to drop that material off free of charge. The scrap tire recycling contract was recently rebid, with the rate charged to Carroll County increasing from $145 a ton to $168 a ton to have the tires taken away, not including any particular fuel surcharge, and we kind of are in that world right now. The commercial yard waste tip fee has been $20 a ton since 2010. Yard waste tip fees in the region are now ranging from $30 to $45 a ton, so that's an idea of what is happening regionally. Therefore, the Solid Waste Enterprise Fund for fiscal '23 is proposing to adjust specific tip fees as follows. The bulk scrap tire disposal fee, which would be commercially hauled tires into the facility, increasing from $150 a ton to $175 per ton. The individual tire off the rim fee would be increased from $2.50 per tire to $3 per tire. The individual tire on a rim would be increased from $3.50 a tire to $4 a tire, so 50 cents. And our commercial yard waste disposal fee would be increased from $20 per ton to $30 per ton to get us at that low end of the regional market. And those are the rate increases that we're looking for, recommending for fiscal '23.
Is this gonna cause people to go somewhere else?
With regard to tires, and I ask other people's opinions, we are at or probably below the rate that Walmart or others charge to take tires if you're getting your tires changed, or Firestone,
Right.
or whoever it is. So, from that standpoint, it should still be attractive to come to the facility. Bulk tires, that's been pretty consistent and has been increasing.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's going to be any really impact there. From a commercial yard waste standpoint, there really aren't, other than the Hoods Mill facility
Right.
that Denali operates south end of the county. There really aren't, that I'm aware of anyway, other operations close by.
Where are they charging down there?
About that rate or even a little bit more.
Okay.
But again, they also do take, fortunately, the residents twice a month, 3 times a month for
Right.
free, since we've closed Hoods Mill. So it's
Yeah.
been a very good operation, very good relationship.
I mean, it's about incentives and convenience, you know, and if we're continuing to incentivize with low rates, that's great, even though it may not be as convenient. But once we get to that, you know, change, people will start looking other places.
Right.
You know, so, okay.
What's the adjusted revenue you think will be coming from this?
We're looking at from the tires bulk rate, looking at approximately $8,800, give or take a little bit. I'm sorry, if I got that, no, I got that incorrect. We'd be looking at increasing from approximately $55,000 to about $68,000. So $12,000 to $14,000 increase, you know, on the tires. Yard waste, we're looking at a difference of about $22,000. Got my sticky notes backwards.
It's not like the county's trying to make money on this. It's important for people to understand that this is reflective of the overall economy, inflationary pressures for us to cover the costs. With that, I move the Board of Commissioners approve the Department of Public Works proposed FY23 solid waste enterprise fund disposal fee adjustments as presented for inclusion in the FY23 operating budget and to proceed to public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Paving at Agricultural Center. Justin, come on up. Just, gentlemen, just let you know what we're gonna do is item 13 and 17. 17 will be right after this, which is gonna be talking about supply and install garage door. This way we can be a little bit more efficient with Justin's time.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. President and Mr. Burke, I will have to abstain from this.
Okay.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Paving at Agricultural Center.
The Office of Procurement in cooperation with the Bureau of Facilities request your approval to award a contract for the paving of the top and back parking lots and adjacent roadway at the Carroll County Agricultural Center to term contractor Gems Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $36,664. The amount is within the adopted budget and no additional funds will be needed.
Morning, Commissioners. The blacktop on the top parking lot of the Ag Center has started to degrade and is in need of repair. The parking lot has been had repairs done in the past, which contains roughly 31 parking spots, as you see on the map. The current age of this pavement is roughly 30 years old. Facilities will be repaving roughly 20 square feet of original pavement, along with 40,000 square feet of new pavement around the back side of the facility, as you see. Currently, that location there is gravel and millings, which will give you access to behind the building. We're going to pave that as we're paving the top to make it all flow together, which will give them better access to use around the back side of the building. We used Gems Contracting before in the past. They are a term contractor. They just completed the job for us out at the Farm Museum, which turned out very well. And they completed the job down at Sandy Mount, the parking lot down there. So what questions may you have regarding this project?
Does this include restriping of the parking?
It does, Commissioner, yes.
And this is a completely separate contract to what else is gonna be
That is
being done.
correct.
Ownership in these areas cuts in and out around here.
Yeah.
It's crazy the way it's cut up.
You're only paving the part that's outlined in green?
That is correct.
So the other part's in much better condition, I would
The
assume?
other part, this is the part, we have a lease with the Ag Center. So the part in green, according to our lease that we just updated, 99-year lease, we are responsible for the maintenance of that parking lot in green, and plus the maintenance of the facility.
Okay.
Yeah, like you just said,
Right.
it's piecemealed,
Yeah.
you know?
Who owns what? Okay, I move the Board of Commissioners award a contract for the paving of the parking lots and roadway at the Ag Center to term contractor Gems Contracting Incorporated, the amount of $36,664.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion on this one? Seeing here none, all in favor?
Aye.
And one abstention, okay. Let's skip forward to supply and install garage doors.
The Office of Procurement in cooperation with the Bureau of Facilities requests your approval to award a contract to Hanover Door to supply and install an overhead garage door at the courthouse annex in the amount of $30,464.89. The Office of Procurement solicited for bids and received 3 responses listed below, and the amount is within the adopted grant funding allocation and no additional funds will be needed.
Once again, Commissioners, back in January of 2022, the courts were before the board to receive a state security grant for $31,058.56 for the replacement of the existing Sallyport door at the courthouse annex. The existing door is 25-plus years old and is in need of upgrade. The new door that's going to be proposed will be a Dynaco fast response door, which allows opening speeds up to 96 inches per second and a closing speed up to 24 inches per second. This will provide an extra layer of security for the courts as this door is being used. With your approval, Facilities recommends awarding the contract to Hanover Door for this door replacement. And just an FYI, Hanover Door actually has a contract with the county already for maintenance and emergency repairs for all of our overhead doors.
And you're satisfied with
And
that?
I am satisfied with them, yes. You know, they've had that contract now, Commissioners, for a number of years.
Okay. I am impressed that all 3 numbers are relatively close.
Mhm.
You don't typically see that,
Yeah.
so. Okay.
What is the speed of the door now, just out of curiosity? Do you have any idea?
I don't. I'm going to say slow as a turtle.
Okay.
No, I don't know, Commissioner, what the
Alright.
actual speed is. And that's
I'm just
one.
curious.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
just down in here what the new one is.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's the average speed of your normal garage door you see at your house.
Gonna say, snappers can move pretty darn fast.
So these doors will not have the safety feature to prevent them from closing on someone? Because
Yeah, they're going to have beams going across, but these doors are built for high-speed doors, for secured areas where when that door opens up, instead of going at a slower rate, it actually goes up to, we can increase or decrease it up to 96 inches per second to get that door up and close quicker, so if a car comes in, that door is closing right behind them. But there are safety features on that door that when you cross that beam, it may add another 5 seconds till it starts closing.
Okay, just curious, because I know definitely from emergency services experiences that children have been killed by these doors,
Mhm.
and that's why the safety feature's in there. I just want to make sure it's in
Yep,
there.
they're lined up with the safety features.
Okay.
Yep.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the award of a contract to Hanover Door to supply and install an overhead garage door at the courthouse annex in the amount of $30,464.89.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, gentlemen. Okay, let's go back to item 14. Apologize for the changes. 2022 hot mix asphalt paving.
The Office of Procurement, in cooperation with the Bureau of Engineering, requests your approval to award the contract for the 2022 hot mix asphalt paving 2 to Gray and Son Incorporated in the amount of $5,586,559.60, plus an additional $63,000 for asphalt adjustment for a total of $5,649,559.60. This work consists of paving approximately 22 miles on 33 county roadways. This amount is within the adopted budget and no additional funds will be necessary.
Thank you. This work is to repair and preserve our aging infrastructure to include full depth reclamation, milling of pavement, placement of hot mix asphalt base and surface courses, adjusting and rebuilding of inlets, storm drain replacements, shoulder backup, maintenance of traffic, and other incidental items. This work includes 120 working days, and Gray & Sons Incorporated has completed similar work for us in the past. This project bid was opened on March 30th, and the asphalt price adjustment were based on the March asphalt prices. With rising fuel costs, we got the April on April 1st, and that increased by $51.66 from the March prices. So we have adjusted the prices by $63,000 to move that bid to the April asphalt prices. Since January, our asphalt prices have increased $111.66. They are at the highest that we have ever seen.
$111.66 per what?
So that is an asphalt cement index. So based on the amount of asphalt cement that's in each of the mixes, there is a formula that calculates how much per ton that asphalt cement is in
So
there.
it's a ton.
So that is actually an index
Right, but
of the
increase in
liquid
price is
asphalt.
per ton?
Yes, we
Okay,
pay per
that's what I
ton,
wanted.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's, State Highway has a process that we go through every month when we pay our invoices based on when the asphalt's placed, and we pay per that percent of asphalt in that mix.
All three of these are, appreciate that explanation. All three of these are very competitive to each other.
Very competitive.
The price that we're providing, or that will be approved, are we able to lock that in, or are we gonna get a change order in 3 months saying another X?
No, the only variable we have is the asphalt, and we have a standard process that as that asphalt adjustment price goes up and down, we will adjust accordingly, and there's everybody, it's in the contract, that's how it's done, and it's how State Highway does it for all their contracts, and we follow their process. So if we, for some reason, and we're hoping, diesel prices have been down a little bit, May's price comes in lower, then we'll use May's price when we place asphalt, and we would potentially get a credit.
Between Gray and Sons and C.J. Miller, we're talking $40,000. Are you going with lowest bid, or are you going with, how was it determined? Because 40,000, although to you and I is a whole lot of money, when you're talking 5.5 million, it's really very small.
This was low bid. All these contractors have been pre-qualified. They're all qualified to do the work, and this was advertised as a low bid, lowest bidder.
I know asphalt and concrete have just gone through the roof right now. It's so volatile, up and down, up.
Steel, everything.
Yeah.
Well, that I agree. I'm looking at who competed, and, liking to keep things local, in our community.
Were they all
Grandsons will be pulling from their Finksburg plant. So.
Okay,
That's a
that makes
nice
me
touch.
feel better.
And
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't have a local preference policy, per se, for the county. We don't have one specified, so we did present it as low bid, and Grandson did come in as the low responsible bidder.
Right.
And they, like Chris said, they were pre-qualified,
Right.
so without having that local preference
Yep.
policy, we have to go with them.
And I think Commissioner Winston, you said the other day, missed it by that much.
Get smart.
So, okay. Any other conversation on this one? No? I'll move the Board of Commissioners award the contract for 2022 hot mix asphalt paving to Gray and Sons Incorporated in the amount of $5,649,559.60.
I will second.
Got a motion, I got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. And let's go on to storm drain repair.
Okay.
The Office of Procurement, in cooperation with the Bureau of Roads, request your approval to use term contractor Pleasance Construction Incorporated to reline approximately 300 linear feet of 30-inch pipe at 822 Wilda Drive in Westminster in the amount of $64,369.64. The amount is within the adopted budget, and no additional funds will be needed.
This is the second part of an existing project that we've been underway for the last couple of years. And the last section of this is going to be replace or to line 300 feet of this 30-inch line. And it goes through some private properties as we convey stormwater from one area to another. And the easiest way to do this without any disruption to the private properties is to do this with cured in place. the pipe is still in good enough condition for us to use this method.
Good. They have a good reputation?
Yes, we've used them numerous times. I mean, the few contractors that we do have that bid on these projects are reputable. They do a great, they work great with the citizens, and that's always the key part too. Quality work, but also work well with our citizens.
I'll move the Board of Commissioners approve the use of term contractor, Pleasance Contractor Construction Incorporated to reline approximately 300 linear feet of 30-inch pipe at Weeda Drive in the amount of $64,369.64.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion on this one? Seeing here none, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Now let's talk about storm drain repair in various locations. Looks like 4 different locations.
The Office of Procurement Cooperation of the Bureau of Roads requests your approval to use term contractor Pleasance Construction Incorporated to reline approximately 249 linear feet of drain pipe at 4 locations within Carroll County in the total amount of $54,037.33. The breakdown is listed below, and the amount is within the adopted budget and no additional funds will be needed.
Our Bureau of Roads ongoing pursuit of scanning and surveying all of our drain pipes. We have about over 1 million linear feet of pipe throughout the county. So we continue to go through, do investigations, and as we identify the conditions of them, we have some that are in some worse shapes than others. Some of them we do have to do remove from place, but also as we identify that they're toward the end of their life cycle and before they go to ultimate failure, we're getting ahead of the projects with lining them as they're identified. And the 4 that we have is Albert Rill Road at 2800 Albert Rill Road, Birdview at Cindy Lane, 1615 Hughes Shop Road, and 3413 View Ridge Circle are the 3 locations we'll be working on. All this work is expected to be completed within 1 business day. That's also just weather pending, but they're able to get to these 4 sites within 1 day if all the materials on site ready to go.
Okay.
When we're looking at this 35 feet, 44 feet and so forth, that's the entire length of the pipe.
Yes.
We're not stopping in the middle of a pipe that we're only doing this much, right?
Full length.
Okay, I thought
Yep.
so, but I'm thinking, okay.
Yeah, a lot of times it might just be the width of the
Right,
the
exactly.
roadway
Right.
plus, yes.
Okay. That'll make the motion. The Board of Commissioners approves the use of term contractor Pleasance Construction Incorporated to reline approximately 249 linear feet of drain pipe at 4 locations in Carroll County in the amount of $54,037.33.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion, I got a second. Any discussion on this one? Seeing here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Jeff, just FYI, there's a meeting down in Sykesville on Friday afternoon with SHA regarding the bridge. I think the mayor and town manager invited the engineer, Terry Seuss, and I to attend, but if you can do a little digging, and there may be value in either you or somebody participating. Okay?
Yep, sounds great. And what time, can you send the details, or you may get with Vivian to get the details of the meeting?
I don't think she has it, just bear with me. It's 2:30 to 3:30.
And which bridge is that?
What's that?
In which location?
Sykesville.
Town of Sykesville office? Okay, perfect. Will do.
Tomorrow's your last day, right?
Yes, it is.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all very much. It's been
Absolutely.
great working with everybody over the years, and it's been an honor. Leaving a lot of great people here that work for this county. The heart and soul of this county, it's unbelievable. That is the toughest part about changing and leaving here is the people that I work with day in and day out that sit back and put in a lot of sweat and tears for the citizens and for you all. And it's I've been humbled by everybody reaching out to me, and all the things that we made a lot of differences over the years. I always leave every day trying to, my goal is to make the county and everything I do better today than it was yesterday, and I feel I've achieved that each and every day that I've been here, and the staff that works with and for us They all have the same, you know, they all work on the same line to make sure we make it better today than it was yesterday. We try our hardest. They work day in and day out. You know, so all I ask is, you know, take care of them. I know you have a lot going on with the budget and stuff, but please, you know, there's, you know, they need the support from everybody, from top down and bottom up. Everybody needs to support each other. It's, you know, Commissioner Rothstein always says one team, one fight, and it is. It's all of us together have to work together, because apart, nothing will get accomplished. So.
Thank you for what you've done.
I really do appreciate it.
Your heart's always been for Carroll County, we know that.
100%, yep. I love where I live, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I sit back in Carroll County, and Westminster's home. Massachusetts, where I grew up, is a place I visit, you know.
We'll see you at the parks, at the store, at the 4-H fair. We'll keep running into you.
Yep, I'm not going far, so.
There's still a whole bunch of cake auctions and all that kind of fun
Yes,
stuff.
there is. Yes, there is, yep. So,
Will you be allowed to
Fantastic.
wear pink shirts at your new job?
I only wore it for you, Tim, so.
Was that a personal question? I mean,
Do you want the shirt?
jealous.
Hey, you want the shirt?
the face is turning
I
beyond
think
pink.
it's perfect for the Easter season. Thank you, and bless you and your family.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Thank
you all
you.
very much.
Yep. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Anything for open admin? So somebody told me that this was a very busy calendar, and we are at 10:30. So
See what you can do when you put your mind to it?
I suppose
We were lectured to go quick, so I didn't say a whole lot.
Even Weaver cut down on what he had to say.
I mean, I don't know. I was told this by yesterday, walking into this morning, and I was like, okay, we will do this. But
I have more fun than
anything,
Carol then.
anything for open admin? We are going to go into work session this afternoon at 1. The Community Arts Center should be made available for public hearing later at the end of our work sessions, and for the public to share their thoughts to us. And we will be doing the coordination with that in late, whenever that is, in mid-May, I think it is. So more to follow on that, but that looks like that's going to be the course of action for public hearing, for just FYI. Anything else for open admin? If not, one-on-one, you come on up. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with time, but, okay.
It's a
Monday.
good thing. It's a good thing.
April 11th, nothing scheduled. On Tuesday, we have our 4th budget work session at 9, and then at 1 p.m. we are scheduled for an additional work session. And as we say, it's to task not time. We'll see where we're at by the time we get done with these. At 7 p.m., there is a 4-H achievement program at the Ag Center. Commissioner Boucher and Frazier will be attending, and I will be attending the Ag Center board meeting at 7 p.m. that evening. On Wednesday at 1:15, I will be participating in the Crisis Intervention Training, Fire Safety Training Center over at Westminster. And at 4:30, currently, there's an adult drug treatment court graduation that Commissioner Boucher, Frazier, and I will be attending. At 5 p.m., Commissioner Frazier will be attending the Board of Education. You gonna be able to do?
Well, I'm just going to walk into the drug treatment court center for about 15 minutes and then have
Okay.
to walk out. I can't
Yeah.
do more than that.
Right.
Because I don't want to be too late for the Board of Ed.
Okay.
And I'll probably be a drug, but you already got 3 listed, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
you can-
no, I
as
mean,
leave,
if
you
you're
can
gonna
walk
be
in.
there, are you gonna be at the
We can
drug
tag team.
treatment? Okay, so add Commissioner Wance. Thursday, we have open session, and currently it goes right into our work session on Thursday morning, and then 1 p.m., another work session. Friday, the 15th, the office will be closed in observance of Good Friday and also preparation for Passover. Just let everybody know. On Sunday is Easter. Wishing everybody a happy Easter, which I'll be able to provide during my podcast on the 17th.
All right.
Good.
On the 18th, we have nothing scheduled. On the 19th, a planning commission board meeting. It's scheduled to be hybrid. At that time, Commissioner Wance will be attending. And then an open session, another work session scheduled. Veteran Advisory Meeting at 2 p.m. with Commissioner Weaver and I will be attending over at American Legion, Post 31. On Wednesday, April 20th, Carroll Community College Board of Trustees meeting where Commissioner Wentz will be attending in the Great Hall of the college. And then Commissioner Wentz will be attending at 7 p.m. the ESAC, the regularly scheduled ESAC Emergency Services Advisory Council.
If somebody else wants to go to that.
Unless
You know.
somebody else wants to go to that. Okay.
We'll talk.
On Thursday, 9 a.m., we go into open session. We'll have our legislative update. I would expect the final legislative update from Mr. Fowler at that time. We'll have a subscription renewal for Cardico Health and Wellness from the Sheriff's Department. Purchase of software and licensing and subscriptions from our state's attorney's office. Police Accountability Board resolution from our good county attorney. Proposed amendments to noise ordinance where our good county attorney will be speaking. Tawnytown annexation, Sewell property, I did listen to that, I just ignored it, with Ms. Linda Eisenberg. Hazardous materials emergency preparedness, hemp grant with Mr. Scott Campbell. Approval to piggyback Howard County government term contract for microsurfacing, which is, in other words, slurry seal on 5 roads within Carroll County. And approval to piggyback on another Howard County government term contract for single seal surface treatment. In other words, chip seal on 13 roads. National Pollutant Discharge Elimination Systems and Analytics Support discussion, I suppose, from LRM, from Land Resource Management. And then there's option to purchase for the James Philip Wareheim Jr. property through county program. 1 p.m. opioid operational command center virtual conference with Commissioner Frazier attending. I will be attending the MAGIC ribbon cutting, which is the Mid-Atlantic Gigabyte Innovation Collaboratory.
Can you add my name to that?
And Commissioner Frazier will be attending as well. The Baltimore Metropolitan Council on Friday morning. Commissioner Wentz will be attending in person.
Yep.
Cool. Farm Museum open house at 2 p.m. Commissioner Frazier, Wentz, Weaver, and I will be attending. There will be a battle of the books at Century High School that I will be attending at 6 p.m. And Commissioner Frazier will be attending the Battle of Books over at Westminster High School at 6:30 p.m. On Saturday, Earth Day event over at Krimgold Park. Commissioner Boucher will be attending. Commissioner Frazier will be providing the podcast.
The Earth Day event, put my name down for that as well.
You'll be joining?
Well, I have to talk to
Okay.
you, see what it's about, but I think I would like to be there, yeah.
Thank you, that'd be very nice. I won't dress up as a chipmunk either.
That makes it even more attractive then.
Okay, is there anything else? Wanda,
No, that'll be, yep.
anything for the good of the group? Okay, I need a motion to recess and go into closed. and then a motion to recess after closed till 1 p.m. to go into open for our work session.
Make a motion to go into close for land acquisition.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. And a motion to recess after close until 1 o'clock.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.